Doing own voice over soft music. Jungkook was standing while leaning on his car and he was deep in thoughts while staring at the ground. But then he came to reality when Kokshi ran to him after she saw him waiting for her, and Jungkook looked up to see Wyan running towards him and his heart ached seeing her. Wyan hugged Jungkook by his neck, and here Jungkook didn't hug her back as he doesn't know what to do, so he simply stands still. Cook, I missed you, she said while facing him, just to see him having a blank face. Yeah, we shall go, he simply said and took Wyan's hand from his neck and walked off to driver's seat, leaving a confused Wyan. What happened to him? She asked herself, but then she got into the car. All the way to home, Jungkook was just silent, and Wyan too kept silent, thinking Jungkook might be stressed with some work. You both came home, she asked them after seeing them walking into the house, making both Wine and Jungkook stop on their track and face her. Yeah, Oma, she said, but here Jungkook didn't say anything and kept looking at Wine's mom. He was admiring her for the first time, and his eyes were getting teary. Jungkook, what happened? Do you need anything? She asked him as she noticed him staring at her. No, Oma, he said in a polite tone, making Wine and her mom's eyes wide open in surprise as he first didn't talk harshly with her and next he called her Oma. Wine mom surprised. What did you call me? She again asked Jungkook and her eyes were getting teary. Umma, he said, making Wine's mom cry. Umma, you should be happy then. Why are you crying? She said after approaching her. No, it's just happy tears, baby. Finally, my son called me Umma. Then she faced Jungkook. You don't know, Jungkook, how desperately I was waiting for this moment. I'm sorry, Uma, for taking this long to recognize you, he said, and then looked at Vine, who was smiling as she was happy for her mom, but her smiling face made Jungkook more regret. Therefore, he left from there as he too was on the verge of crying, and right now he needed to cry his heart out as he was holding himself from crying from the time he got the file. Jungkook entered his room and locked the door and slid down the door, sitting on the floor and busted out crying. Jungkook crying, why she has to be my sister? He grabbed his hair in frustration. I'm made with my sister. How can I tell her? What should I do? Jungkook was regretting the things he'd done with Wine. No way, I will never let Wine know about me being her biological brother. Otherwise, she will also regret like I'm regretting now, he said to himself and busted out crying heavily. Wine, do you heard he called me Umma? She happily said, making Wine too happy for her. Yes, Umma, I heard him calling you Umma. Oh God, I'm so happy. I just want to tell this to Jungkook's dad and he will be so happy. Yeah, he will, Oma. And I'm hungry. Just make some snack. Okay, and call Jungkook too. Wine nodded her head and left to call Jungkook. Wine reached Jungkook's doorstep. She held the doorknob and twisted to open it, but Wine frowned. Did he lock his room? Why he lock it? He never locks the room. She said to herself, being confused what's with Jungkook's behavior. Cook, you in there? She called him while leaning into the door, hoping that Jungkook might hear her, but Jungkook was inside the bathroom standing under the shower and crying his heart out. He might be in bathroom, he said and left from there to change her dress. After a quick fresh up, Wine came to Jungkook's doorstep and tried to open the door but it was locked. Wine said, Cook, can you hear me? Jungkook looked up from the file which he was staring when he heard Wine's voice. Cook, come downstairs. Oma made snack for us. Jungkook's heart ached after hearing Wine's voice and his eyes again started shedding tears but then he bit his lips to control his sob. Wine, I'm not hungry, you go, he said. Okay, she sadly potted and left from there, thinking Jungkook might be busy. Jungkook laid back on bed while tears dropped were flowing from his eyes. Okay, you can leave. Alex nodded and left. While Jungkook opened the file and what he saw and read made his heart, mind, body numb and he left his soul left the body. Jungkook came to reality and he immediately took his phone and called his personal agent. Is it true? Yes, sir. The woman in your house is your biological mom, he said, but Jungkook didn't wanted to hear it, but something else. Jungkook called, not that, the last birth certificate of Wine. Yes, sir, she is your biological sister and we got it from the hospital itself. That's it. Jungkook's phone fall from his hand to the floor. Everyone were waiting for Jungkook, especially Jungkook's dad, as after what he heard about yesterday's incident, he eagerly wanted to hear it from Jungkook that he called his wife Umma. Why he is not coming? Patience, honey, he will come. She consoled him, but due to excitement, he wasn't able to keep his patience. Princess, go and call Oppa. He asked Wine, who was just lost in her thoughts, because from yesterday she felt like Jungkook is slightly ignoring her, and also he locked up his room, which he never do, making an unknown fear rush in Wine's body. Yeah, Appa. Even though she checked his room in morning, it was still locked. But then too, as she is an obedient kid, she agreed to go. But when she was about to go, everyone's eyes light up saying Jungkook. Jungkook walked down the stairs and for the first time he entered the dining room, pulled a chair and sat, making everyone surprised. Good morning, Appa. And he faced Wine's mom and he saw she already looking at him. Good morning, Amma, he said, making Jungkook's dad's eyes wide open and Wine's mom to give a wide smile to Jungkook. Morning, baby. She happily greeted him and Jungkook gave a small smile to her. Oppa, you won't greet me, she asked him, and thus when Jungkook came to reality as he was admiring his mom, but then he faced Wine and he felt like he was crying at that moment, so he controlled himself and bit his lips. Good morning, Princess Wine, he said, making Wine a little sad because he was about to call her Princess, but then called her Wine. But then she shrugged off her thoughts when she noticed Jungkook's face. Oppa, did you cry? She asked him as his whole face was swollen and eyes were fluffy. No, I just stayed up whole night to complete my work. He said as he didn't wanted anyone to know about his condition. Don't do that, baby. Your health is more important for us, she said, and Jungkook looked at her and gave a small smile to her as he doesn't have anything to say. Why don't you serve, honey? He said, and Wine's mom immediately started serving happily. Jungkook took the first bite of the food, and his eyes wide open in surprise when he realized that the food tasted exactly as Wine always gave him at night. So he understood that every night Wine's mom make Wine to bring food to him. Jungkook internally cried as he doesn't want to show it to anyone. How is it, baby? Is it not good? She asked after seeing Jungkook being lost, and Jungkook looked up at her just to see Wine's mom having a sad face. Jungkook smiled. No, Oma, it's very delicious, he said, and Wine's mom smiled happily. I'm glad that you liked it. Here, have more, she said, and placed more food in his plate. Wine's mom and Jungkook dad were happy that Jungkook finally accepted Wine's mom as his mom, but little did they know that Jungkook find out all the truth. Jungkook was heartbroken. His soul left his body. He was just a living body after knowing that he fall in love with his own sister and he made with her, which was eating him up from inside. Whereas Vine too was a little heartbroken after seeing Jungkook's ignorance and a change in behavior towards her. But then she tried to heal her broken heart by seeing Jungkook's and her mom's happy moment. As usual, Jungkook was driving. He doesn't want to drive Wine to university because more time he spent with Wine, it makes him more in love with her. Despite of the fact that she is a sister, because every time he see her, he just see her as his woman, not as a sister, because her heart is still not ready to see her as a sister. Wine was sitting silently, but now she can't take more of Jungkook's silence. So Cook stopped the car. She asked him, making him confused, but then too he parked the car a little far from the university as they can see the university gate. What happened, Wine? He asked her in a cold tone, but Wine's next move made his eyes wide open. Wine sat on his and cupped his both cheeks while moving herself so close to Jungkook that both of them can feel them against each other. What happened, Cook? She asked him in a bit concerned tone, and her Jungkook was feeling good after feeling Wine's. He was lost in Wine's eyes and his eyes swollen Wine's lips, which didn't go unnoticed by Wine, making Wine to smile, and she slowly placed her lips on his and started him with Jungkook. Jungkook felt so good. He felt like he got his soul back. His body came alive, so he unknowingly closed his eyes and was about to her, but feeling her. But unexpectedly, his mom's face flashed in his mind. Cook, what happened? She asked as she saw Jungkook's eyes turn teary. He was taking long breath as if he was having difficulty in breathing, making Wine concerned. It's wrong, Wine, he simply said, making Wine more confused. What's wrong, Cook? She was again about to cup Jungkook's cheek, but Jungkook turned his head other side, making Wine heartache. Cook, she called him in a broken voice, which Jungkook understood that he hurted Wine, but he can't do anything. He is more hurted than Wine, so he faced Wine just to see her with teary eyes, resulting a drop of tear to fall from Jungkook's eyes. But he can't repeat the same mistake which they'd done when they were unaware of their relationship. Wine, you getting late, just leave, he said while trying to make Wine out of us, but Wine just hold his shirt more tightly as she doesn't want it to leave his. No, I won't leave until you tell me what's your problem, she said after understanding that something is wrong. But Jungkook thought, baby, how can I tell you that I am your brother after we both made? The regret is eating me up. I'm feeling like I should, and I don't want you to go through the same pain I'm going through right now because the pain is unbearable, he thought while looking deep in Wine's eyes. But then, I have an important meeting. He lied to her because he know otherwise Wine will not leave, and Wine understand it. Okay, fine, take care, she said, and she was about to peek Jungkook's forehead, but Jungkook again turned his head, making Wine to cry, knowing he is avoiding her. So she harshly took her back from passenger seat and left the car. Jungkook bursted out crying after Wine left. I'm sorry. He kept on saying sorry while watching Wine walking to university. After Wine completely disappeared, he leaned onto the steering wheel and cried his heart out, which was holding from the time he entered the dining room for breakfast. But then, after 10 minutes, his phone rang, so he took the phone. Jungkook called, yes, I'm coming. He hung the call and then he wiped off his tear and drive to his company. Wine, it's okay, he might be busy or stressed with work. She tried to console Wine, who was crying on Leah's shoulder. Wine crying, yeah, maybe she too tried to convenience her mind, but deep inside her heart, she knows that something is wrong. The whole day passed. Jungkook wasn't able to concentrate on his work, and same goes with Wine. She wasn't able to concentrate on her class. They both somehow managed to end their day as Wine was eagerly waiting for the class to finish so that she can see Cook. But little did she know that Wine eagerly walked out of the university, even leaving Leah behind, and Leah just let Wine to run as she understand that situation. Where when Leah reached the entrance of college, she saw Wine standing still while staring at something, so she approached her and Wine, you didn't went to Jungkook, she asked Wine, but Wine was still staring at a particular direction, making Leah to follow her gaze towards the direction where Wine was staring just to see it. It's your dad, Wine, and that's when Jungkook's dad saw Wine and Leah at entrance, and he gave a sweet smile to Wine and waved at her. But Wine was all numb as her heart said to her that Jungkook intentionally sent her dad, but she wasn't ready to accept it. But then she came to reality when Wine, be cool and don't make your situation with your stepbrother obvious to her dad. Come, she reminded Wine and just nodded her head, and both walked towards Jungkook's dad and stood in front of him. Oh, see my princess looking so surprised after seeing her appa unexpectedly. Right, princess? He asked Wine after taking Wine's backpack from her shoulder, and he saw Wine's back face and he assumed that Wine is surprised. Yeah, I am. She too lied to make her dad sad, but then appa, where is Oppa? She asked him with a sad tone. He is busy with some work, princess, so he asked me to pick you up, he said, making Wine's heart to calm down, hoping that Jungkook might be busy, but then something else struck her mind. Then how you came? Didn't you have work, Appa? She asked him as still Jungkook's dad is the chairman, so he will be definitely more busy than Jungkook. Jungkook dad smiled, yeah, I was, but then your Appa is so caring for you that he doesn't trust anyone for you, so he begged me to pick you up, he said while cherishing Wine's hair. But Wine felt something is wrong, but then too she shrugged off her negative thoughts and made up her mind to believe her dad. And how are you, Leah? It's not being long time you didn't came to our house, he asked Leah. Leah smiled, I'm fine, uncle, and also we were busy with finals, so I don't got time to meet you all. It's okay, I hope you do well in your finals. Yeah, uncle, and see you Wine tomorrow. Yeah, bye, she said to Leah, and Leah just slightly nodded her head, telling Wine that everything will be okay, and Wine just gave a small painful smile to her and she left. So shall we go, he asked her, and Wine nodded her head and both left the house. They reached home, but Jungkook's dad got an important call, so he went to the garden area to attend the call. Meanwhile, Wine walked into the house with a heavy heart, and she was feeling something is going to happen, but some doesn't know whether it's bad or good. Wine entered the house just to get a surprise, and all her negative thoughts, which she just buried deep inside her heart just a few minutes ago, came back again after she saw her mom walking out of the kitchen holding a tray while saying, here, eat this snack and drink this. It's your favorite, right? Wine's mom said after placing a plate full of freshly prepared snack and a glass of cold banana milk in front of Jungkook, who was looking fresh in his sweatpants and baggy t-shirt. That means he was home a long time ago. Jungkook small smile. Thanks, Oma, he said and took a sip of cold banana milk. How is it good, Oma? Here, eat it too. She picked a snack from plate and placed it near his lips, and Jungkook kept first look at his mom, then to the snack in her hand. Jungkook thought I should be very happy after experiencing my mom's love, which I was craving for from years. But I am not able to become happy because Wine's face is roaming inside my heart. He was deep in thought about Wine, but then came to reality. Cook have it. She moved the snack a little too closer to his mouth, leaving him with no other option to just open his mouth, and Wine's mom placed the snack in his mouth. Wine's mom became happy and was admiring Jungkook eating with a blank face, and both were totally unaware that Wine was watching them, not knowing whether she should be happy after seeing Jungkook and her mom standing, getting along, or should be sad after knowing that he just tricked his dad so that he can pick her up. Wine was lost in staring at them, but then she came to reality when, wow, what a pleasant view for my eyes. Now can finally, he said while standing next to Wine as he too was watching them from Wine's back, and Jungkook and Wine's mom looked at the entrance just to see Wine and Jungkook's dad standing. Jungkook's eyes only fall on Wine, who was already staring at him with sad eyes. See, Princess also got surprised after seeing you both so happy together. Am I right, Princess? He said, hugging Wine by her shoulder, making Wine to come to reality. But she didn't heard what Jungkook's dad said. Instead, Appa, you said Oppa has some important work, but see, he is here looking fresh. Seems like he was home a long time ago. She directly asked her dad, but the question indirectly Jungkook's heart after knowing that Wine understood that he tricked them. I don't know how. No, princess. He just said that I should pick you up as he is busy, and I believed him, and I came to pick you. That's it. He said it to Wine, but then faced Jungkook. Hey, you brat, why you lied to me that you got some work? He asked Jungkook, making Jungkook out of answer. Appa, the work suddenly got cancelled. He just said and looked down at us as you can take Wine's intense stare on him, which will definitely make him spill the truth if he will look into her eyes. Hey, Wine, have snack, and here I made your favorite banana milk. She shouted after seeing Wine just simply walk out to her room. But Wine got a little curious to know something. So, did she also like banana milk? He asked his mom, even though he know Wine loved banana milk. No, she doesn't love it. She is just with it, just like you and your dad. She playfully said and pinned Jungkook's cheek lovingly. Jungkook dad smiled. Of course she will be with banana milk. After all, she is my daughter. He too playfully said and sat next to Wine's mom and had snack while both elder couples started talking about their days, but Jungkook thought, of course she will be. After all, she is my. He paused, thinking as even he can't think of her as a sister. But what to do? Their faith. She is his sister, and that's the hard truth. Jungkook got up from the coach and left to his room. Wine crying, why you avoiding me? Did I done anything wrong? She was crying hard as now she was clear that something is wrong with Jungkook, but doesn't know what's wrong because Jungkook is avoiding her, making things more difficult to for Wine, and ended up she crying more. Jungkook to enter his room, sat on bed and cried his heart out after recalling Wine's sad face from earlier. The elder couples were having their lovely talk, as indeed they were happy because they all were now like a family. But here Wine and Jungkook were silently eating while Jungkook was looking down at his plate. Meanwhile, Wine was occasionally having a glance at Jungkook because she wanted to talk to Jungkook to know what she has done wrong so that she can control herself. But Jungkook was ignoring her. But then, as he felt Wine stare on him, which was making things difficult for him, so I'm done, I'm going, he said and stood up from seat, gaining everyone's attention. Cook, you haven't even eat half of your food, she said after seeing his plate. I got an important meeting. Jungkook dad frowned suddenly. Yeah, I got a message, he said and turned around to leave. But Cook, wait for 5 minutes. Let Wine baby complete her breakfast and baby have your food fast. Oppa has to go for work. No, let her eat peacefully and Appa will drop her. And also, Appa, please pick her up after class. He said, avoiding Wine while looking at his dad and mom. And here Wine was knowing that he was lying just to avoid her, making Wine to tightly hold her chopstick in anger, sadness, frustration. Jungkook came to his office. He was just simply leaning his back on the chair and was silently crying as drops of tears were flowing down his closed eyes, and he even asked his secretary to clear all his schedule for today as he wasn't in the mood to work because he was sad, heartbroken. Vine again skipped her class along with Leah and gone to her house and crying her heart out, and now Leah also started suspecting Jungkook's behavior towards Vine, so she let Vine cry and she silently kept wiping Vine's tear because Leah has nothing to say to Vine. Wine was vomiting, which now she was having from past 2 days, and finally she stands straight after washing her face and mouth. I'm feeling so tired, she said to herself after seeing her reflection in mirror, which was showing how pale she become. But she ignored it, thinking it might be because she is taking stress, thinking about Jungkook and his avoidance. Wine signed and took a towel and wiped her face and walked out to get ready for university. Everyone were having breakfast. It was pin drop silence as Jungkook and Wine were playing with the food. But Jungkook's dad and mom were having an eye conversation, asking each one to start the conversation. And then baby, both Wine and Jungkook looked up at their mom, but after seeing Jungkook's blank face, Wine's mom's all confidence flew away. So she, Cook, your appa wants to ask you something very important. She easily washed off her hands on Jungkook's dad, making Wine's and looking at Jungkook's mom with an unbelievable eyes, who was now eating as if she don't know anything. Say appa, Jungkook's dad came to reality and faced Jungkook, and then Jungkook dad said, Jungkook, when are you going to say that you got a girlfriend? He asked, making both Wine and Jungkook's eyes wide open. Jungkook front girlfriend, she asked confusedly. Yeah, and I even heard that she proposed you for marriage and you agreed to marry her. He asked, making wine chopsticks took to fall from her hand, and she immediately turned her face to Jungkook to see he himself having a cold, a shocked face as he not getting what his dad is saying. Appa, don't play. I don't have a girlfriend, he said, but Jungkook's dad wasn't believing. Oh baby, don't play innocency. He took his phone and opened the gallery and gave the phone to Jungkook to see. But let me see. She immediately took the phone from Jungkook's hand, and what she saw made her eyes teary and the phone to slip from her hand, and Jungkook becomes sad noticing Wine's crying, making Jungkook forget everything. Baby, what happened? He touched Wine's shoulder, but Wine jerked it off harshly. Don't touch me, you cheater, she shouted while harshly standing up from chair. Baby, he too stood up and again about to cup Wine's cheek, but Wine back off. I said don't touch me. So this was the reason you started avoiding me. You started distancing from me. Wine said in between her heavy crying, making her difficult to take breath. Baby, calm down. He again tried to approach Wine, but no. Wine back off. Why you did it with me when you already had a girlfriend? Why you proposed me? Why you made with me when you already had a girlfriend? And then started avoiding me as if it was nothing for you. Now the harsh reality hit Jungkook and he too lost his control. It was a mistake, Wine. That's why I started avoiding you so that you can't forget about those lovely moments of us and hate me and move on from me. He said, making Wine's heart to break. It was a mistake. She asked him in a broken tone. Yes, he said, even though he too was heartbroken, saying that it was a mistake. But his yes made Wine more weak. Wine crying, you made want to forget about lovely moments. Wine again asked him, making Jungkook bite his lip. Yes, he said while looking down at his feet, but then he heard a voice and looked up to see Wine lying unconscious on floor. Wine, he approached her and without wasting time, he carried her to hospital, followed by Jungkook's dad and mom. Jungkook was crying while waiting for the doctor to come out from the room, and here Jungkook's parents were confused with what just happened few minutes before, but right now they were concerned for Wine. Mr. John, he called Jungkook after seeing him hiding his face in his palm, and Jungkook looked up to see doctor and he stood up straight. How is she? The doctor smiled. Don't worry, she is taking a bit of stress and not having proper meal, making her body so weak, which is not good for her and baby's health. So please make sure to avoid all the stress for her. And right now we have gave her IV drip as her body was very weak, so maybe after a bottle she will wake up. Saying this, he patted Jungkook's shoulder and walked off. Jungkook was all numb, not knowing what to do. But Jungkook, is it your baby? She asked him, and Jungkook looked down, not knowing what to say. I asked you something, Jungkook. Yes, it is my. A heart fall on Jungkook's left cheek. Wine woke up and she was sitting on bed. Meanwhile, Jungkook was preparing a drink for her. He gave the drink to her, but Wine just turned her face to other side, making Jungkook close his eyes to control himself. Don't be stubborn, Wine, and drink it. You are weak. Wine faced him with a frown after seeing him caring. Why you care for me? Just leave me alone. Saying this, she again turned her face, but Jungkook signed and placed the glass of drink back and sat next to her, cup her both cheek and placed his lips on her, making Wine too cry after feeling his lips on her after 2 weeks and whined him back, making Jungkook to cry. Both were each other, not feeling to leave each other lips, but they parted when they heard. Control kids, there is an innocent soul in her tummy. Jungkook broke the and looked back to see his mom and dad with a sweet smile, but whined from innocent soul. She confusedly asked, Ush, dad, you spoiled it. I wanted to say it to her by hers myself. It's not too late. You say it, we will give you privacy." Saying this, she pulled Jungkook's dad out. "What's happening?" She again gaining Jungkook's attention, and Jungkook looked at Wine and took her both palm in his. "Baby, don't be panic, okay?" he said, making Wine just nod her head, and Jungkook started telling her everything. "Yes, it's my baby." A fall on Jungkook's left cheek. "How dare you cheat on my daughter?" "Wow," sarcastically. "How can I forget that you are the son of a cheater? I was trusting you with my Wine, and you made her and wash off your hand and agreed to marry another girl," she said while crying. "Honey," he called his wife in sad, broken tone after hearing what he did in past, which always make him regret. But Wine's mom came to reality after knowing that she hurted her husband by her word. "I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I only thought about my Wine." "Why you on her?" She again raised her hand to Jungkook, "but I didn't on her, and I don't know what you guys are talking about. I still love Wine, and I'm going to take her far away from you all, where no one knows us. We will live there with my baby. I love her so much." "About those pic, watch pic appa?" he asked, and Jungkook's dad gave him the phone, and he saw Era proposing him, and he took the ring, and both happily spending time on their lovely date night, which was all fake, edited. "Appa, it's fake. She is literally behind me from college time, and I kept on rejecting her, but she just every time come up with new ideas to make me hers, and this is one among them." "How you got it?" "Her dad sent me and asked me to fix a marriage as soon as possible." Jungkook signed, knowing Myra might have brainwashed her dad for marriage, but "And what were you saying that you will take Wine with you?" "No way I will let you take my Wine away from me when I promised her mom and dad that I will take care of her as her mother throughout my life," she said, making Jungkook's eyes wide open. "What did you say?" Wine mom smiled. "She is not my biological daughter. She is my best friend's daughter." "But what about the birth certificate?" He told everything. Jungkook mom's son. "It's not actual birth certificate, Jungkook. It's just a type of birth certificate which is saying that me is her mom and your dad is her dad after her biological." "When are we going to tell us about this?" "Actually, one already knows it, as we don't hide her from her biological parents, and we also decided to let you know both get married so that Wine will always be safe and sound in front of me, and I can keep the promise." But then we got this picture, but trust us, we didn't believe those pics as it was clearly showing that it's edited. But then too, we decided to ask you just to confirm it that it's true, as we were knowing that you and Wine love each other. But hearing Wine earlier at home, I thought you really cheated, and the pics are true. That's why I you sorry son, Jungkook signed. "So it's mean I was the only one not knowing anything." "You can't blame us, Jungkook. We all tried to a lot of time to tell you the truth, but you were so stubborn and living in your own misunderstanding world that you never bothered to listen to us. And also, each time we tried to make you understand that I'm your mom and Wine is my best friend's daughter, you just started getting anger, making your health bad, and thus suggested us not to tell you anything and let you come to know everything by the time. And see, now understand everything, but it was too late." Jungkook just simply nodded his head, and his mom Jungkook dad sighed. "Hey, it's still not late to fix everything. Now, as you know everything, it's let's proceed with both of your marriage." And about Era, Jungkook's eyes turned dark. "I know what to do." "So that's why you ignored me." Jungkook just nodded his head. "I'm sorry, baby. Just understand me. I was not knowing what to say, so I'm sorry for everything I done. Please forgive me." Wine him and he back to the "It's not your fault. I would have done the same too. And now let's forget everything. I just don't want to remember those past 2 weeks," she said and hugged Jungkook. "Me too." He too hugged Wine tightly and peeked her side of it, but something else struck Wine's mind. "Cook, what you did with Era?" she asked him after pulling back from hug, making Jungkook shrimp Annie on the TV. The company Kim Enterprises found to be involved in illegal activities, resulting the shareholders to withdraw from the company, and latest report says that the company will soon shut down, leaving a huge loss on the CEO of the company, and soon Miss Kim Era will be arrested. Jungkook turned off the TV. "Wine, white eyes, you spread the fake news, right?" "Yeah, that's the least I can do, and leave her. She should not come in between us." Saying this, he hugged Wine, but this time Jungkook realized that there is one more thing to clear, so he pulled back from hug. Baby, about those pic, it was edited and I don't know anything about that. Wine smile, I know. She is a very bad editor. Wine chuckle, but Jungkook was confused. Why, Jungkook from then why the you created that much scene? You know how hurted I was. Wine smile, sorry. At that time I just lost my control seeing your pic with other girl, which I know I was edited. But now I understood that it was because of my mood swing that I became jealous, emotional, anger at the same time. I missed your blushing face, he said while cherishing Wine's trick. I love you, Cook. She said, holding Jungkook's palm over her cheek. Jungkook smiled. I love you more, babe, and love this little beanie too. He said while placing his hand over Wine's tummy, and soon both leaned forward to share a passionate. I'm sure that they will be the best parents in the world, unlike us. We are sorry, Jungkook, for spoiling your childhood, but now Wine will bright up your present and future. Has she bright up your childhood? Jungkook's dad and mom slowly closed the door with the teary eyes, and also there was a small smile on their lips after seeing that both of them now are happy together. The end. Thanks for watching. Bye.